I'll throw my score out there. I'll say 23-17.
23-17.
Just to throw in. You guys both put one in.
We're all about in the same ballpark then.
Yeah.
Okay, key players for me, it's kind of a combination of things. It's Kyle Callaway coming back to the offensive line and Adam Robinson running through the interior gaps. Alex and I talked about this last night. When you watch the replay of the game against Northern Iowa, when Adam Robinson was cutting back through the interior lanes of the offensive line, that's where he had success. He didn't find a lot of success running those stretch plays, getting the outside. So hopefully when the coaches watch that, they'll see that. And Robinson's a huge player because we have to be able to run the ball. If we have to completely depend on the pass again, it's going to be very hard to win the game. I really like Alexander Robinson at Iowa State. I think if he has a huge game and they can run the ball well against our defense, we'll have a very, very hard time winning that game. We did a pretty good job last year of keeping him contained. He's a young player, but it's a year later. So Iowa State key player Alexander Robinson, key player for the Hawks, the offensive line as the whole, and Adam Robinson being able to run through the interior gaps.
Iowa State can try and look like USC as much as they want. They cannot play like them, and I think that our linebacking core is really going to show them that. But I really want A.J. Eads to step up, maybe play a little better than he did last week. He didn't have an awful game, but there were some plays that you kind of expect him to make, and I think he'll definitely be able to step up. But you mentioned all the Iowa guys on Iowa State, from the state of Iowa. I think look for some of those guys. I mentioned Robinson already. Pat Anger, look for him to have a solid game. And Brett Greenwood, those guys grew up, they understood the rivalry. They grew up knowing Iowa was the better team, the better program, and now they're a part of that. And I think that our defense, we got to look for guys like Sash and Greenwood and Anger to step up, not just because they're from Iowa and they understand the rivalry, but just because they need to step up. Tyler Sash almost had a pick last week. I wouldn't be surprised to see him take one down this week. And on offense, I just think you really got to look at Ricky. You hate to put all the pressure on a QB, but our receivers, for the most part, played very well last week. Ricky just kind of has to put the ball there, and they'll go get it.
I'm going to kind of just stay kind of cliche. We can't turn the ball over. It seems like there's a lot of games where we'll turn the ball over in the opponent's territory. That's going to kill us against Iowa State because that's the little spark that they'll need to try to get some type of points on the board. And really, I'm kind of just going to put the pressure on the offense. Usually the defense shows up for this. Last year, out of the 17 points we scored, 7 of them were from special teams. I mean, Andy Brodell had that run-in for a touchdown. So really the offense has to do well. They have to get a little better, and I think they will. And then the defense, of course, I think the defense still will come to play. And I think it helped watching Iowa State spread because they kind of are going to run a similar offense to UNI spread. I think they're running a similar offense to Iowa State. Pat Grace is a similar type of quarterback to Arnaud. And Kirk Ferentz was talking about today that this Iowa State team does have a lot of experience, and some of these experienced guys have beaten Iowa, so they know what it takes to get the job done in that department. So without a doubt, it's going to be an exciting day of football this Saturday. So for Jordan Loperena and Mike Rabon, I'm Alex Solsma. We'll see you next week. Yeah, I agree. And you know what? Okay.
We gotta have like a gag reel or something.
Okay.